Ibrahim. I'm originally from...
For too long, meaningful research opportunities have been restricted to those with the right connections, at the right institutions, at the right geographic location. But that ends right now. My name is Dr. Rhanderson Cardoso, and I'm a cardiologist in Boston in the United States, and I'm about to show you a way for you to gain research autonomy in developing your own research projects from wherever you are in the world, regardless of who you know or your connections. If you don't know me yet, as I said, I'm a cardiologist in Boston. I'm originally from Brazil. I came to the United States for internal medicine residency at the University of Miami. Honestly, I had a really rough start in the medical research world. It was tough at the beginning, working long hours, no medical research experience. But then I learned how to do systematic reviews and meta-analysis, and this transformed my career. I matched into cardiology at Johns Hopkins, then went to Harvard Medical School for a cardiac imaging fellowship where I stayed on as faculty, as an attendee. A strong track record in publications was a critical component of building this academic career in the United States. Later on in my career, through the Meta-Analysis Academy, I've helped hundreds of students and doctors from around the world to publish impactful research to also advance and transform their careers. Our students collectively have over 1,000 publications, thousands of abstracts presented in international conferences in pretty much all specialties. Strong publications in journals like JAMA Cardiology, Lancet Global Health, Ophthalmology, Neurosurgery, Anesthesia and Analgesia, American Journal of Obstetrics and Gynecology, European Radiology, and so many more. Our students have also been cited in international guidelines like the European Society of Medical Oncology, American Diabetes Association, the European Society of Cardiology, World Endoscopy Association, UpToDate, and so many others. This is the moment you cross an irreversible line from asking others for research opportunities to creating your own research ideas and projects. Because your career is just too valuable to depend on the interest, availability, or skills of others. Hello everyone, and welcome everybody to the publication roadmap. I am so thrilled to do this with you guys. So exciting. Where are you guys speaking from? Let's do a quick round of introductions. Mexico, Pakistan, let me know in the chat where you guys are from. Good to see everyone here. Wow, it's an honor for me to have this discussion with you, and this will be transformative in your career. All right, we have folks here from Uganda, Kuwait, Australia, Chile, Ecuador, all over. So great to have you guys. Listen, we have a lot to discuss. It's Saturday morning or afternoon, wherever you are in the world. So let's get right to it. We're not going to waste any time. I'm just going to ask you before we get started, one very important message. Make sure to hit that share button, get the link for this live stream, and send it to your friends. Trust me, if your friends also learn the publication roadmap, you will benefit as well because you guys will collaborate, publish together. We have countless examples of that here in the Meta-Analysis Academy. I've sent this message for you guys in the groups. Maybe you didn't see it. This is your last chance to have your friends join. Make sure to hit the share. Just send it in 1 or 2 or 3 WhatsApp groups or social media. Let's get right into it. You guys excited? I hope you guys are as excited as I am to learn this very transformative skill. All right, guys, let's get started, okay? So this is what we like to call day 0 of the publication roadmap. Why day 0? Because it's for many of you, you're starting from 0. You have no idea where to start in doing your research. And we're going to take care of that today. You know, after today, you will learn the skills to develop great research ideas, okay? So this is a critical moment between where you are right now in your career and where you want to be. I want everyone to have a full understanding of the magnitude, the importance of this moment in your career. All right, I got so excited that I accidentally added an extra E over here. So your career, you maybe want to do residency in the United States, a fellowship, maybe you want to do in your home country, become a professor, get a PhD, whatever your goal may be in the next 1 year, 2 years, 5 years. But where you are right now and where you want to go depends on what you learn today. And I don't mean this just from my personal experience. I mean this from training thousands of doctors from all over the world. So I'm going to show you 3 quick examples. This is Natalia. She learned the publication roadmap. She's from Medellin, Colombia, and she published in a really great journal in neurology. And then 1 year later, she matched into neurology at the University of Miami. She is now a neurology resident. This is Luca. He got a full scholarship for a master's degree at Johns Hopkins. This normally costs $70,000, but he was accepted and he got a full scholarship. And this is the example of Mangesh. Mangesh is from India. He's now doing a research fellowship at Houston, one of the best cardiovascular centers in the United States in Texas. So the example from Natalia, from Luca, from Mangesh are just a few examples of what can happen in your career if you learn the publication roadmap like they did. This was transformative in their career, and it will be transformative for you as well. But it's very hard for you to do research. You just have very limited access because you're from all these different places in the world, whether it's, so-called first world countries like UK, or whether you're from like more remote places, it's very hard to do research. You don't have time, you don't have skills, you don't have mentors, you don't have support from your institutions, you don't have statistical skills. So all of these barriers limit you guys. And I want to know from you in the chat, which one of these is the greatest barrier for you? Is it lack of time? Is it lack of skills, lack of funding, money from your institutions, lack of mentors, lack of network? Which one is the greatest barrier for you? So I heard mentors, okay? I heard no funding, lack of skills, lack of network, lack of time. So these are all very, very important barriers, okay? And we're gonna break them down systematically, one by one, in this publication roadmap today and tomorrow, okay? You're gonna learn to publish in a way that you can overcome all of these barriers. But I wanna start with the first one, the biggest barrier in the beginning. Most people have no idea where to start in research. Is that the case for you guys? Say yes in the chat. Yes, 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 if it's the case for you. Most people don't even know how to begin. They don't know how to start a research project. So that's the case for almost every single person who is in this live stream right now. And I gotta tell you guys, it always starts like that. Like no one who's published in the best journals, done the best research, knew at one point, they also didn't know at one point where to start. So that's why we like to call this day zero. It's your moment from 0 to step 1. It's where you go from knowing nothing at all to knowing the first step. So that's why we call it day zero. And I gotta tell you, day zero or step number 1 is always an idea. All research projects start with an idea. So when you say, I have no idea how to do it, how to start a project, it's literally because you don't have any ideas for research. But we're gonna take care of that right now. Today, you're going to learn how to develop great research ideas. Okay, and I want you to understand this, what I've just said, that this is the first step. Is everyone clear on that? So step number 1, what are we gonna learn? How do we start a research project? It starts with a research idea. So we're going to learn here at the outset, at the very beginning of the publication roadmap, the first thing we're going to learn is how to develop great research ideas, because it always starts with a great research idea. That's always the first step. All right, so you're gonna learn in this class 5 proven methods, 5 methods that have worked for our students over and over and over to develop strong research ideas with autonomy. What does it mean to have autonomy? It means you don't have to ask a professor. It means you don't have to depend on a mentor for ideas development. You don't have to depend on your medical school. It means you can develop that research idea yourself, no matter your level of training. And that's exactly what we're going to learn here today. And I want you to know the following. This is very important. These methods that I'm going to teach you, they don't just work for Harvard professors. They don't work just for Harvard professors. By the way, I have to say that even though I am a professor at Harvard Medical School, this is not affiliated with Harvard Medical School. This training program is not affiliated with Harvard Medical School. It's not related to my personal affiliation. The opinions I share here are mine exclusively. But the point I want you to understand at the outset is that these methods that I'm going to teach you work not just for professors at Harvard, not just for people who have 100 papers. It's because I learned these methods that I now have 100 papers. So I'm going to train you how to start your journey, how to develop your first papers and accumulate the skills, the results that will ultimately help you get to Harvard or other great institutions. So the methods that I'm going to train you on in just a second, they work regardless of geography. You guys introduced yourself in the beginning. I want to show you a quick example. This is a very, very strong paper from one of our students, Yosteline. Well, guess what? Yosteline is from a tiny, tiny, tiny country in the west coast of Africa, in São Tomé and Príncipe. Tiny, tiny country, tiny island in the west coast of Africa. And then Yosteline became a medical student in Mozambique on the east coast of Africa and published a really, really strong paper. All right, and I could show you countless examples. Lua and Firas are medical students in Lebanon and Beirut. So it doesn't matter if you're in Harvard, Beirut, or São Tomé and Príncipe, remote places in the world. Learning the skills that I'm about to teach you will help you develop these ideas. It also works, guys, regardless of level of training. So this student, João, he's a pre-medical student. He's not even a medical student yet. He is an undergraduate in Tampa, Florida, published in a really, really great journal. Or you could be an experienced surgeon like Bernardo with 30 years of surgical knowledge and practice, and he published in a really great journal. And these methods also work regardless of specialty. It could be in a really top field like cardiology, or it could be in a really niche field like otorhinolaryngology. So Matteo is a surgical resident in Italy. Juan is a medical student from Colombia. It works regardless of specialty. It could even be in really remote specialties, very niche specialties like genetics. These methods work, okay? But, and these are the final announcements before we start with the methods. It only works if you have full commitment. This only works if you dedicate yourself to today and tomorrow. You can't half be here. You can't be like here and on social media. You can't like be here and working at the hospital at the same time. If you're on call and you're listening, anyone in the hospital right now? Anyone in the hospital? If you're in the hospital right now, what you're going to do is watch, listen, but you're also going to rewatch this later on. Today at night, we're going to leave the recording for 24 hours. Today, when you get home, you rewatch it. You guys need full commitment. Can I count on you guys for this? Yes, in the chat? Yes, yes, yes. 100% commitment and delivery? Yes? Let's do it? All right. So all these examples that I've showed you and so many more, these are our students in Chicago at the American College of Cardiology. So there's people here from Ecuador, Egypt, India, Mozambique in Africa, Peru, Brazil. All of these guys had dedication, commitment, and you guys really need that. Half of you are not even going to show up tomorrow. Then don't expect any results. Don't expect any results. If you're going to half do it, you better not even do it. Don't waste your time. Make sure to do the exercise, watch the classes, show up tomorrow. okay? Otherwise, it just doesn't work. All these people had this in common. They started from nothing and they had this level of commitment. And besides commitment, there's just one other ingredient that I want you to have, which is purpose. Think about why you are here. You know, there's a famous phrase in the motivational speeches. There's a famous phrase which says, if the why is strong, the how is easy. So I'm going to show you the how. How do you learn how to do research? How do you publish your papers? How do you develop your ideas? The how will be easy if your why is strong. If you have a very clear reason why you want to learn how to do this, if you have that sense of purpose, you will learn the how quite easy. So think about why you're doing this. Do you want to do an international rotation? Do you want to do a very strong residency in your home country or maybe in the United States? Do you want to do a master's degree, a PhD, apply for teaching positions? Do you want to build a strong name for yourself, a strong brand, academic authority, okay? If you want to learn how to do any of these, that's your why. And I encourage you to write it down, whether it's physically or digitally. Write it down. Why are you doing this? Listen, remember the phrase that I just showed you. If the why is strong, the how is easy. So you need a commitment, and you need purpose. Otherwise, you will give up. Okay, let's just be very clear. You will give up, you won't do it, you will be on Instagram while we're doing this. Okay, those two things are really, really important. Now, I just need to tell you some quick rules before we start. And so we're going to give, to honor you guys who are watching this live, we're going to do 2 giveaways. One of them is the absolute gold in your career, which is the Meta-Analysis Academy. We have a full training program in meta-analysis. It's called the Meta-Analysis Academy. And we're going to give 1 full scholarship for people who follow the rules. You need to register your attendance on today's live stream and tomorrow. Okay? How will you register your attendance? At the end. At the end, we will send a form and you would register your attendance to show that you're watching live. And then tomorrow we will do a giveaway of a scholarship for the Meta-Analysis Academy. We're also going to do an iPad giveaway, but that's only for the people who do the lab, the exercise that we've put together for you. It's a really, really good exercise. You're going to learn how to develop ideas and then put it into practice, okay? You can even do it with your friends. You can do the exercise with your friends who are here in the publication roadmap with you. But you have to submit the exercise before we start tomorrow's session, before 12 p.m. London time, and you have to watch live to be a candidate for the iPad giveaway. Sounds good? Everyone clear on that? Everyone understand the rules? So please, don't ask a lot of questions about the Meta-Analysis Academy in the chat yet. Every time we do this publication roadmap, everyone just slams the chat with questions about how can I join, what's the tuition cost, and how does the Meta-Analysis Academy work. I don't want to talk about it right now because there's a lot of important things that you guys need to learn. So we're not here yet to talk about the Meta-Analysis Academy. So don't keep asking about the Meta-Analysis Academy in the chat. Also, don't keep asking, how do I register attendance to win the iPad? How do I register attendance to win the scholarship? Don't ask that in the chat. We're going to put that in the end. Don't share emails, WhatsApp numbers, or any other personal information in the chat. Don't do that. And if someone missed these rules and they break the rules in the chat, you kindly tell them they're breaking the rules. If they insist, we're going to remove them. But those are the rules for the chat. Okay? Ready? Can you guys agree with that? Are we all clear on the rules? Let's do it. Every time I do this, I take about 20 minutes with 25 to 30 minutes with the announcements in the beginning, and people are like, let's start talking about the class. And today I did it in 20 minutes. It's the fastest I've ever done these these announcements at the end. So you guys are privileged. It was only 20 minutes. Usually I take half an hour just with these announcements. All right, let's do it. This is going to be the exercise. It's very, very, very nice. Oh, by the way, even if you do it in a group with your friends, it's totally fine to do it in a group with your friends from medical school. But when you submit, make sure to submit individually, even if it's the same answers. Everyone got that? Everyone understood? So it's okay to do it in a group, but make sure to submit individually, even if it's the same answers as your friends. Okay? And again, absolute last chance to share this with your friends. Hit the share button. Oh, by the way, hit the like button too, so that YouTube knows that you guys are really excited for the publication roadmap. And subscribe to the channel. I have to say those announcements too. All right, so attendance at the end. That's it. We're done with the announcements. Let's go to class number 1. 5 methods to have high impact research ideas with autonomy. Okay? I just want to make sure everyone is on, everyone is excited. Let me know in the chat. Send me like a fire emoji or something like that, so I know that you guys are all very excited to learn these 5 methods. Let's do this. All right. Okay, very good. I love the excitement here in the chat. You guys are a great group. Okay, guys, so these 5 methods, let's learn what they are, okay? Some of them, well, one of them will be very obvious. The first one is very obvious. The other ones are very clever, okay? But let's start with the obvious, because I have to tell you also a very obvious way of developing research ideas. So there is a special ingredient when we look for research ideas that I want you to know. The best research ideas are those that have controversy around the topic. If a group of doctors thinks that you should do medication A to treat whatever condition, and another group of doctors thinks you should do medication B to treat that certain condition, that controversy is what fires strong research ideas. It's the fuel for great research ideas. So the methods that I'm going to train you on are methods to identify controversies in your field of interest. Oh, I like pediatrics. Okay, let's find the controversies in the pediatric field. I like ophthalmology. Let's find out the controversies in ophthalmology field. So the first method is very obvious. It's the bedside. Okay? A lot of you guys are not in the hospital yet. You're pre-medical students, you're first, second year medical students, but many of you are. Many of you are residents, fellows. Many of you guys are interns. So when you are in the hospital and you have a question about a patient, it may be for one of 2 reasons. Maybe you don't know that there's an answer for that question. Maybe you're just junior in your career. You got to learn, you got to read, you got to sit down and study, and you will find out the answer to that question. But a lot of the questions that you have at the bedside are real questions that people just don't know the answer to yet. So I will show you an example of this. By the way, all of these examples are from former students who learned the publication roadmap and joined the Meta-Analysis Academy, okay? All the meta-analysis, the examples that I show you are from former students of the publication roadmap and the Meta-Analysis Academy. They were in the exact same seat that you are today. So method number 1 here, let's look at this case from Enrique. Enrique was a medical student at the time, and he's rotated in his hospital, and he really likes obstetrics. He wants to do obstetrics gynecology, and he's a medical student, and he starts to notice that in one hospital that he rotates, doctors do long-term contraception for women who deliver and want long-term contraception. And in another hospital, they're like, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to give long-term contraception. The lady just had birth. We're going to wait. We're going to do delayed insertion of these long-acting methods. So he realized that there was controversy. Some people did yes, some people did no for these early postpartum contraception. So he realized that there was a controversy on that topic, and he did a research that was published in one of the top journals in the world in OBGYN, the American Journal of Obstetrics and Gynecology. Well, Rhanderson, how did he go from the idea to the publication? Oh, that's something for tomorrow. That's not for today. Today, we're not talking about how to do the research. Today, we're talking about step 0, how to develop the research idea. I hope that's clear to everyone. So how did he develop the idea? Just by looking, just by being in the hospital and seeing that some people did A, some people did B, some people did early, some people did delayed. So that's method number 1. That's just being on the lookout when you're rotating in your hospitals and clinics, okay? So in one place, they did long-acting contraception. The other places, they waited after birth to give it, to put the contraception, and he published it. So if you're a pre-med student or junior in your medical career, if you're not in the hospital, method number 1 is not gonna work for you, but the other methods will. So let's go to method number 2, recent publications. Guys, this is number 1 method, the best method to develop great research ideas. So how does this work? Let me show you some very practical examples. This is Caroline. Caroline was a first-year medical student. First year, not a doctor, not a surgeon, first-year medical student, when she had this idea. So she has this interest in women's health. So she in endocrinology too. So she says, oh, I want to develop an idea in polycystic ovarian syndrome, like in women's health. But how can a first-year medical student develop a great idea in that area and publish in the European Journal of Obstetrics and Gynecology, one of the best journals in the world? How can a first-year medical student do that? Well, it's by applying this method here that I'm about to teach you. That's how Caroline had this idea. There's a very easy way to look for these controversies, which is being on the lookout for recent publications in your area of interest. Let me show you some examples here, folks. Look at this publication. This is one of our students. He was a medical student at the time, Antonio. He published in this great journal, Seizure. Okay, he published on the use of an Atkins diet for drug-resistant epilepsy. How did he come up with an idea? By looking at one of the best journals in his field, which is called Neurology. It's called the Green Journal, Neurology. And Antonio saw this publication there. Look at the publication. This is on the safety and efficacy of a modified Atkins diet for patients with epilepsy. It's a randomized control trial. Now, Antonio can't do a randomized control trial. It requires a lot of money. He's a medical student. It's very long. It's going to take years to do. So he can't do a randomized control trial. But he can do a meta-analysis, which I'm going to explain to you guys later today, on that same topic. But how did he have the idea? He was looking for recent publications in the field of neurology. Guys, why does this method work so well? Because if you look at the top journals of your specialty, they are publishing on controversial topics. So let's say you like surgery, for example. If you go to JAMA Surgery, #1 surgical journal in the world, if you go to JAMA Surgery, they're publishing on topics that are controversial in the field of surgery. If they weren't controversial, people wouldn't publish it in JAMA Surgery. So if you're looking into the articles that are being published in JAMA Surgery, you will find controversial ideas that will help you create great ideas for your own research. So that's the trick. The trick is to look always for recent publications in your area of interest. Look at Antonio's project. The publication in neurology was by Manrao, and Antonio included Manrao in his meta-analysis. His idea came from that publication in neurology. He did a meta-analysis on that topic. Let me show you another example. So Dr. Rassi here, he's an ophthalmologist. He treats eye diseases. He's an ophthalmologist. And he published a strong paper here in the field of ophthalmology by seeing this clinical trial. This is a clinical trial published in Retina, one of the top journals in his field, but he was looking at recent publications in his field of ophthalmology, and he developed this great idea for a publication himself. Let me show you another example. Everyone knows the New England Journal of Medicine. This is a paper that came out a few years ago on doing 2 different types of surgeries for lung cancer. So it's doing a more extensive resection, lobar resection, or just a smaller resection, sublobar resection. So this came out in the New England Journal of Medicine. But one of our students who learned the publication roadmap just like you, same thing as you did, his name is Patrick. So Patrick did a publication on that same topic. He did a meta-analysis. So how are you going to take advantage of this beautiful method? Find recent publications in your area. How are you going to take advantage of this? Let me explain. You're going to subscribe to newsletters. This is super important. I'm going to remove the screen here because I want you to pay attention to me as I tell you this, okay? All right, so maybe I won't because I can't find my cursor. Okay, listen. This is super important. You're going to pick the 5 or 7 best journals in your field of interest, and you're going to subscribe to their newsletter. It's free. It's totally free. You don't have to pay anything for this. And then once a week, they're going to send you a nice email that's going to say, hey, hello, here are the papers that we published this week. And you're going to look at their titles and abstracts. And what are you looking for? Controversies. Controversies. You're looking for controversies in your field of interest. Those newsletters will give you those controversies, okay? So how are you going to find these journals? Just go to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT or any other AI, what are the top 7 journals in pediatrics or plastic surgery or nephrology, whatever you're interested in, and then ChatGPT will give you, and you go to their website like JAMA Pediatrics, and you click here, get the latest. You put your email address for free, and they will send you a newsletter. And obviously, read the newsletter, okay? You're supposed to look at those emails and understand every week what they're publishing, read the abstract, and if you develop a deeper interest, you read the full paper. If you do this every week for the 5 top journals in your field, you will develop great research ideas, all right? Great research ideas. And there's another major advantage of this. It's because they're very recent. Because what you get in your email is what just came out. So it's like not only having the controversies, but having the most recent controversies. It's like always being up to date on your field of interest. So this method works super well. It's very, very reproducible. And actually, you're going to practice it. When we do the exercise today, you're going to pick these journals in your field of interest, and you will sign up to their newsletter. Everything good so far? You guys good with method number 2? Any questions? Yes? So there's some good questions in the chat, but they are about future topics. So for example, there's a great question here by Mailcod. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. How do I make sure that there's no meta-analysis on that topic? Well, that's a future step. We're not going to talk about that now because we're still talking about how to develop research ideas. you can't test, this is super important, guys. This is such a great question. You can't test the strength of your idea without having an idea first. I mean, it's very obvious. Would you guys agree? You can't test the strength of your idea without having the idea first. So what we're doing here right now is developing the research ideas. Now, not all these ideas will become publications, of course not. But you need to start somewhere. You need to start that first step. How do I start? Everyone said in the beginning, I'm clueless on how to start. This is how you start. Okay? You start with developing the research idea. All right? All right, so let's talk about method number 3, hot topics. Okay? So, you guys know how, like in the news world, people are always fighting for your attention, right? So, for example, like right now, there's these major geopolitical things happening in the world, and then if you go online or on TV, you're gonna find multiple news outlets fighting for your attention because your attention is worth money to them. They will run ads. They will make money by having your attention. In the medical field, it's the same. In the medical field, if there is let's say that there is a breakthrough in oncology. Oh, there's this new treatment. It's so good to treat lung cancer. It's improving mortality, improving survival. It's such a great new tool. There will be many oncology news outlets that will want to communicate that with you. Why? Because your attention is really important to them. Okay? So, we're going to take advantage of this system and we're going to go to these news outlets that are constantly discussing hot topics. Those news outlets in the medical field may be web pages, they may be social media, they may be podcasts. I will show you an examples of all of this. So here are some examples of these platforms that will share hot topics. So podcasts, social media, UpToDate, Medscape, and so forth. Let me show you some examples. This is Medscape. Medscape has a different page on what's new and controversial and hot topics in cardiology and endocrinology and different fields. So you could go there to Medscape for free and you could learn the latest news, what's exciting, what's breaking news in the field of endocrinology. So that's number one. You could also do this in UpToDate. UpToDate has a section called What's New? What's new in oncology? What's new in hematology? What's new in neurology? And if you go there, you would find the controversies and the debates and the hot topics and the things that are being discussed in that field. And we have many of our students who learned these methods, went to UpToDate and developed a really, really great idea. One of our students, she developed an idea in breast cancer by reading what's new in oncology in UpToDate. And she published that paper. She published it in the European Society of Medical Oncology. And that paper was cited by the American Society of Clinical Oncology in their guidelines. It's a really strong paper that came from this method that I'm teaching you. Read UpToDate section regularly on what's new in your field. Because over there, you would find the controversies. Like over here, cervical lengthened twin pregnancy, bictegravir during pregnancy. So these are new things and controversial things in the field. What's new in oncology? Again, read these sections because you will find controversial and new topics. Look, this is the paper I was telling you about. This is the paper by Isabella, published in the European Society of Medical Oncology. This idea came from UpToDate What's New section. If you go to the UpToDate section, there's always new things in the field of oncology, neurology, cardiology, and everything else. And those hot topics, those controversies can help you develop great research ideas like this one that will get cited in guidelines. Look, it was cited by the American Society of Clinical Oncology Guidelines. So these guys are methods that are very reproducible, okay? Whether you're a pre-medical student or if you have 20 plus years experience. By the way, these methods also work for dentistry, nursing, psychology, everything in the healthcare field, okay? I've been showing some examples in medical, in medicine, but it works for all healthcare fields. So this method number 3 is going to these platforms that discuss controversies and applying those methods to find the controversial, to find great research ideas. Let me show you an example from social media. Look how cool this example. I love this example. So you guys know that there's a lot of pages on Twitter, on X now, that are always talking about controversial topics. So like there's this page called Neo Papers that discusses strong research, controversial topics in the field of neonatology. And they posted a few years ago this tweet saying, hey, there's a controversy on, there's this new study on the use of caffeine for preterm infants. When I saw this, I was like, what a crazy idea to give caffeine to preterm infants. Apparently, that's a thing, and it's a controversial thing. So one of our students, her name is Vanessa Vicentin. So Vanessa Karlinski Vicentin, she saw this tweet, and she published a paper in that exact same idea. She did a meta-analysis on that topic, early versus late caffeine therapy in preterm neonates. And this was published in one of the top journals in the world in the field of neonatology called Neonatology. And this paper was really important for Vanessa. It helped her to match at University of Pittsburgh. So she's a pediatrics resident right now. And one of the strengths of her application was having strong publications. How did she develop the idea for that? She was on the lookout for hot topics, following specific pages in social media that are always debating controversies and new topics in the field of neonatology. Okay? All right? Everyone good with this so far? You guys with me? Correct? All right. There are also podcasts. So podcasts, guys, like Cardio Nerds, okay, for cardiology. Put the name of some important podcasts in your field of interest, okay? So I know, for example, the Neurology Journal, the Green Journal that I showed you, has a podcast as well, okay? All right? Okay, so so look for podcasts in your area of interest because with those podcasts, you will learn the field, but also find the controversies. Okay, so Cardio Nerds is a great podcast in the field of cardiology. All right, so I actually was invited a couple of times. The founders of Cardio Nerds are from my class in fellowship at Johns Hopkins. So I was invited there a couple of times, and it's a fantastic platform for education in cardiology. Okay, we're gonna talk about conferences next, but I wanna make sure we've learned already 3 topics, 3 methods to develop these great research ideas. Before we go any further, I wanna make sure we're all good. Everything good so far? Yes? Let me know in the chat if you guys are following, if you have any questions related to what I've explained. The other 2 methods are also very interesting, but I want to make a quick pause to see if everything is okay. All right. Guys, backstage here, this group is special. These guys are really good in the chat. All right, lovely. Okay, so this is an important question here I want to answer. This is a great question. So this is by Laiba. As a junior medical student, how do I find out our area of interest? This is a great idea, a great question. So what you're going to do is you're going to pick 1 or 2 areas that are of interest right now. you don't need to be in your final years of medical school to have an area that you're interested in. So you may be interested now in cardiology, and you do projects in whatever area you're interested right now, and those interests may evolve over time. Oh no, 3 years from now, maybe you're not interested in cardiology anymore. Maybe you want to do neurology. I don't understand why you would do that. Cardiology is clearly a whole lot better. But if you change your mind, it's no problem. The research that you've done in cardiology will still be very helpful and strong to you in your career. It will help you with residency applications. You would have learned the methods. Now you can apply them to neurology research. So you can't publish on something without having an area of interest. You have to pick something now, work on that, publish on that field, and then you can change your mind later on. It's no trouble at all. But just pick whatever you're interested in at this time. Is that clear? You guys get that? Yes, Alexander clearly agrees that cardiology is way better than neurology, okay? By the way, let me know your specialty of interest in the chat. I want to see who is team surgery and team clinical specialties. Let me know your specialty of interest in the chat, just because it helps me direct the exercise, the examples, okay? I have GI here. What else? Surgery, anesthesia. Anesthesia is always popular. Gen surgery, neurology. Yeah, so it's pretty variable. Emergency medicine, that's a good one always. Pathology, great to have you guys here. All right, we have great publications in all these fields, guys. Like I said at the beginning, it doesn't matter the specialty. I even put genetics as an example, otorhinolaryngology, pharmaceuticals. Like we have plenty of publications from our students in pharmacy. So it works for all these fields. All right, let's keep going here after this quick break. Let's talk about conferences. Okay, so conferences are a lot of fun. You go, you meet people, you network, you see your friends that you met here in the publication roadmap. But you can also use these conferences to advance your career by being very intentional in developing research ideas. And I'm going to explain to you how to do that right now. Okay? So let me show you an example in the field of cardiology, but this works in every field. This is the largest global conference in interventional cardiology, okay? The plumbers of the heart. Anyone here is a plumber for cardiology? Anyone here does interventional or wants to do interventional cardiology? Let me know in the chat. So these guys are the plumbers. In cardiology, we have the electricians, we have the plumbers, so TCT is transcatheter therapeutics. So this is a major cardiology conference every year. And in these big conferences, whether in cardiology or surgery or in neurology or in oncology, there's always clinical trials being presented. Those clinical trials are sometimes called late breaking because they've just been released. In fact, a lot of the times they're released at that very moment they're being presented. No one outside the authors knows the results until they're being presented in the podium. So what I'm trying to say is a lot of times in these conferences, it doesn't get more recent than that. Like it just came out. It literally just came out in front of your eyes. And these topics that are coming out on the conferences, they're not only recent, they're obviously the controversial topics. Because otherwise people wouldn't be doing research on them. And you may say, Rhanderson, they were controversial until this publication, but once they did this research, did they not stop being controversial? No, most of the time, no. You guys think that one research will settle everything on a given topic? Of course not, not at all. So when someone publishes a trial or presents at a conference on a topic, it's because that topic is controversial, and most of the time it remains controversial. There are things you can explore. It's just the nature of what we do in medicine, okay? So if you go to a conference like this, like TCT, and you don't actually need to go, I'm going to talk about that in just a second. they will be presenting clinical trials. Let me show you an example. This came out in TCT a few years ago. It's about the use of this class of medications, PCSK9 inhibitors, in patients who have a heart attack, in patients who have acute coronary syndrome. Okay, so these medications were well established for chronic conditions, but in this study, they used them to treat patients who had an acute heart attack. Well, that's a controversial, very new, debatable topic. So this guy that I'm about to show you, Gustavo is his name, he published a meta-analysis on that topic. In fact, the name of the trial that came out in TCT was EPIC-STEMI, and he included EPIC-STEMI in his meta-analysis. He also presented this at the European Society of Medical Oncology, European Society of Cardiology in Amsterdam. This is him presenting in Amsterdam a few years ago on this very topic. And the point I'm trying to make here is go to conferences and look at what's being presented. What are the hot topics? What are the clinical trials? What are the new things that are being discussed at that conference? Because you can get those topics and develop your own research ideas, just like Gustavo and his brother Leo did. Okay? So this is really important. And you can do this without even going to the conference. They publish online. They publish it online what they're going to talk about or what they talked about. So this is from the American Heart Association. This is from the American Society of Clinical Oncology. You can look, even if you are at home in Pakistan, Germany, Argentina, wherever you are in the world, you don't need to be there at the conference to know what they're talking about. Okay, so if you can't travel to Berlin or to California or to New York for these conferences, you can still take advantage of these methods, okay? So that's number 4, conferences. Oh, how do you find out which are the best conferences in your field? You can ask a clinician in that field. So for example, let's say you're a first-year medical student and you're interested in cardiology. You could just ask me. You could send me a direct message on Instagram and say, hey, Professor Cardoso, Professor Rhanderson, what are the best cardiology conferences in the world? And I would tell you like this. It would take me half a second to give you that answer. And you can ask your professors. If you like neurosurgery, you could ask your professor who's a neurosurgeon and say, hey, Dr. Professor Neurosurgeon, what are the best conferences in the world in neurosurgery? And he or she would tell you in a nanosecond, half of a second, they would tell you that. Or you can ask ChatGPT. You can go to ChatGPT or any other AI and say, hey, what are the largest global conferences in pediatrics, in plastic surgery? And then you can look up the dates for those conferences. And then when the conferences happen, you can just go ahead and when the conferences happen, you can just go and get the data from them, okay? You can go and get the data on those publications. Sounds good? Everyone good with that? Yes? Perfect. All right. So that's how you're going to leverage conferences, okay? This is a good... Just a second, guys. Just give me 1 second, okay? So there's a question here that I want to answer here. I missed the question. Oh, here. There's a question here about offering about scholarships, okay? Conferences offer scholarships. Our students in the Meta-Analysis Academy, they win the scholarships a whole lot. They win a lot of scholarships because the research they produce is really strong research, Okay, so we've had students win scholarships to conferences all over the world, but you can only win those scholarships typically if you go to present. So yes, we have a lot of students who win these scholarships, but it's not just by attending. It's usually by doing research and submitting it to that conference. Okay? Okay, so let's go ahead now and do topic number 5, guidelines. Okay? Let's do guidelines now. So, is everyone familiar with the concept of what a guideline is? So, pick a topic like pediatrics. Think about the American Academy of Pediatrics, for example. They would put out guidelines from time to time on the most important topics in that field. So, those guidelines will typically tell us what should be done for a certain condition. But those guidelines also will tell us the controversy on those topics. So here's an example of this. This is the 2022 European Society of Cardiology guidelines on cardio-oncology. When that guideline came out, look at one of their recommendations. Let's read this together because it's important for you to understand. That guideline said the following. Listen up, guys. Low doses of apixaban or rivaroxaban may be considered as an alternative to low molecular weight heparin or aspirin in patients with multiple myeloma. Let me ask you this. If the authors wrote may be considered, is it because it's like a definitive recommendation or because there's controversy in that area? What do you guys think? That's a definitive answer or because there is controversy? Why you answer that? It's because there's controversy, right? Right? It's because there's controversy, exactly right. So that controversy is a very special element for ideas, for research ideas, okay? So in fact, one of our students, his name is Tomas, he published a paper on that very same topic. He saw this in the guideline, the same recommendation that I showed you guys, and he developed a research idea and published at the British Journal of Hematology. This is one of the top journals in the world in hematology, guys. And he was a medical student at the time. And with that publication, he matched in internal medicine at the University of Colorado. He's now a second-year resident in Colorado. He spends his free time skiing in the winter. But he's a medical student from Brazil. And he developed this idea by learning the same method that I'm teaching you. Look at guidelines for controversy. Now, it's important that you understand that not all fields would put out great guidelines. This is very common in the clinical specialties, less common in the surgical specialties, but there are guidelines in surgical specialties as well. For example, you could ask ChatGPT or any other AI, what are the largest global societies in vascular surgery? And then it would tell you SVS, ESVS. And you could go to Google and look for their guidelines, Society of Vascular Surgery guidelines. And if you click that, you would see the guidelines in vascular surgery. And you could look, especially recent guidelines. Don't look at old guidelines from 4 years ago because the controversies 4 years ago may no longer be controversies now. But if you see guidelines from this year or last year, those guidelines are great places to look for controversies, okay? Everyone get that? I also forgot to mention that this paper by Tomas, okay, it was mentioned in the European Hematology Association guidelines. It's such an important paper that it got a guideline citation. And where did he get his idea from? From a guideline. It's so cool that you get the idea from a guideline, you publish a paper, and then the next guideline cites your paper. Isn't that mind-blowing? Isn't that really, really awesome? I love this. I love the fact that you could be a medical student. Like Tomas wasn't even a resident yet. He was finishing medical school at the time, and he published the first author paper that from a guideline that got cited in the guidelines. It's so incredibly amazing. All right. Yeah, and this is a great point that Rihanna mentions. It's a great benefit for patients. We're talking here about building careers and helping you get into fellowship and residency and all that, and building a name for yourself, building a brand. But at the end of the day, the people who benefit the most are not just you in your career, it's the patients, okay? So like this is used to now make recommendations for hematologists all over the world. And it's because of a research that Tomas did. And again, you may ask, how did he go from the idea to the publication? Well, that's a topic for tomorrow. It's not for today. That's a topic for tomorrow. You got to come up. You got to show up on day 2. Okay? All right. So those are the 5 methods, and I want to share with you guys my personal favorite. Which one do you think it is, guys? Which one do you guys think it is? Oh, this is important. Oh, this is a great idea. This is a great question by maybe Fernanda, maybe. Guys, none of this is stealing an idea, okay? It's very important that you understand that. There's nothing unethical here. All research ideas come from other research before. So you're not copying anyone else's idea. You're not stealing it, I mean. You're using their prior research publications as an inspiration for your idea. There's nothing unethical about what we're doing. Everyone who publishes in New England, Lancet, JAMA, all the great journals, they did that on the background of other people's ideas and research. That's how the science evolves. So my favorite one, you guys are wrong. It's not guidelines. It's not hot topics. My absolute favorite one is, thanks guys for removing that. I lost a comment. My favorite one is recent publications. Guys, it's so reproducible. You could have great research ideas today. In fact, you will, because you're going to do the exercise. Look at this example. Look at this. It's incredible. Look, this is one of the best journals in the world in radiology. It's called the American Journal of Radiology. Actually, not radiology. It's röntgology. It's AJR, one of the best journals in the world in radiology. They published a paper on ultrasound fat fraction for hepatic steatosis. I'm not even sure what that is. Ultrasound-derived fat fraction. But it served as the basis for Sarah, who is a resident in radiology, to publish. Look where she published this, guys. Look where she published. She published this in European Radiology. Can you believe it? She's a resident in radiology, and she published it in European Radiology, one of the best journals in the world. And she presented this, I think it was in Vienna. I forgot exactly where. But it was the European Conference of Radiology. I think it was in Vienna. So this is my absolute favorite method. Look at Beatrice. Oh, this is such a great story. You guys are going to love this. You guys are going to love this story. Beatrice is a 4th-year medical student at the time. She developed this idea on intubating patients with video or no video, direct intubation or using video. Anyone here work in the ICU? It's such a great question. You guys deal with this all the time. Like every single day, this comes up. In the OR, anesthesiologists, like people have this question all the time. Why did Beatrice publish it and not you? Because you didn't know this method. I really am truly excited about this. I love doing this and teaching you guys. It's very, very fun for me. I don't see this as work. I really find that this is very fun. Okay. Correct. You don't need to have a PhD degree. Anyone can do this. Like I said in the beginning, pre-meds, first-year medical students, everyone. So again, let me go back to this very important question. I want you to answer this. I want you to answer it. Why did Beatrice publish this and not you? If you have an interest in critical care, of course. It's because she applied this method. She learned it. And she was looking when this came out in the New England Journal of Medicine. So this paper came out in the New England. She's like, whoa, this is what I want to do. I like critical care. This is a hot topic, new, controversial, recent publication in the New England Journal of Medicine. So she saw this and she published this paper in one of the top journals in the world in critical care, by the way. This might be the number 1 or number 2 journal, maybe number 1 journal in the world in critical care. Okay, and she published this as a 4th-year medical student. And one of the barriers that I'm going to help you guys overcome with these methods is the barrier of mentors. Let me know in the chat, write the word, write no mentors in the chat if you find it difficult to find good research mentors. Write no mentors in the chat. This is a question for tomorrow, okay? How do we get the data is for tomorrow. This is not for today, this is for tomorrow. So everyone like, oh, it's hard to find mentors, right? Everyone wrote in the chat. But when you learn how to do research, like I will teach you tomorrow, the 10 steps, you can invite people from all over the world to be your mentor. So in this example, Beatrice didn't invite someone from her medical school. She didn't invite someone from her medical school. She's from Brazil. She invited an attending from the Mayo Clinic in the United States. In fact, she invited an associate program director from the internal medicine residency program to be her mentor. So the way you guys are going to overcome the barriers to mentors is you're going to develop the research yourself, the idea yourself, do the research, do the project, and then you invite an attending from the United States, from Europe, from wherever in the world to be your mentor. Is everyone clear on that? So that's how we overcome the barrier of no mentors. Beatrice is in a but she's in a medical school in Brazil. No access to great research mentors, but she can invite someone from the Mayo Clinic to be part of her work, okay? So guys, that wraps up class number 1. Class number 2 today is really short. I'm not going to take a break just because if I take a break, the people who are less committed will not come back. So we're just going to power through and we're going to be done in 20 minutes. Is everyone cool with that? Yes? For sure? Let's do it. 20 minutes for class number 2. Yes? Okay. All right, let's do it. So how do we find the mentors? I'm going to talk more about that tomorrow, okay? Someone said, how do I find these mentors? That's for tomorrow, okay? How do we get our paper published? That's for tomorrow, okay? How do you contact them in the first place? Tomorrow, okay? It's terrifying to do your research and develop an idea on your own. No, it's not. I just taught you guys how you can develop great ideas on your own. I just taught you 5 methods. In fact, you're going to put this into practice. You're going to do the exercise today, okay? All right? Okay, so this is a topic for tomorrow, okay? What if there's already a lot of research on that topic? You guys can't test the strength of an idea without having an idea first. The first step is to develop the idea. Then we're going to apply methods to test if the idea is robust or not. That's for tomorrow, okay? All right, let's keep going here, folks. This is only going to be 20 minutes. Buckle up, put your seatbelts on because this is going to be super fast and transformative, okay? Before I go on any further, just one quick message in the chat. Did you guys enjoy the 5 methods? Yes? Life-changing? Did you like it? Super helpful? Let me know the feedback in the chat. Yes, yes, yes? Okay, looks like people loved it. Okay, great, fantastic. Okay, so let's talk about the gateway to successful publications. All right, guys, pay attention to this. Oh, don't forget to do the exercise, okay? The exercise will be available after the class. We're going to put it in the WhatsApp groups of the publication roadmap. Okay, and you have to submit it by tomorrow to be a candidate to win the iPad. All right, so again, a lot of you guys thought it's impossible to develop these research ideas. Clearly it's not. Clearly it's not. I've showed you examples of first-year medical students, pre-meds, third-year medical students, residents who develop these research ideas, and you can do too. But obviously, research ideas is just the first step, okay? It's just the first step. Next, we have to move on to developing the project itself. And there's all these other barriers. We still haven't touched any of these barriers. We were just talking about the idea. We still have a problem with time, skills, funding, network, mentors, all the other things. We just talked about developing an idea. But I'm going to show you now how you can overcome all of these barriers. And it's with one research method. It's with systematic reviews and meta-analysis. And I'm going to explain to you in 20 minutes why and how this will transform your career. So first of all, everyone's seen this before. If not, meta-analysis are at the top of the pyramid of evidence. This means that if you do it right on a good topic, if you do it right, you will publish in the best journals in your field, okay? Because they're strong. If they're well conducted, you would publish at the best journals in your field. So let me explain to you the concept of a meta-analysis. Let's say that you want to compare medication A versus medication B, and pick a city in the world for me. Just pick any city in the world. Let's say that you're doing this, let's see, any city in the chat. Put me a city in the chat. Let's say you guys are doing this in Berlin. Okay, Paris. Okay, London. Wow, you guys are European cities there, or in Dubai. Okay, so let's do it. Let's do it in London. Let's say you're doing this in London. You're maybe at King's College, like really great pro places in the world, and you want to compare medication A versus medication B for patients with diabetes. Let's pick that example, okay? You're King's College in London, and you want to compare drug A versus drug B for diabetes. Let me ask you this: you're not gonna recruit patients, all the patients with diabetes in the world. You're gonna recruit a sample, a group of patients with diabetes from your hospital. And from that sample in King's College, London, you will gonna try to make an inference about all the patients with diabetes in the world. So every time someone does a clinical trial, they're picking a sample of patients with the disease. They're picking a small sample of patients that have that specific disease, right? When we do a meta-analysis, we get these different studies that were similar to each other, done in different places in the world. So one of them was done in London, the other one in Paris, the other one in India, the other one in South America, the other one in New York. And we get all these different samples from different studies, and we create a bigger sample. We create a larger sample that includes all the different studies. That's what a meta-analysis is. And the beautiful thing about a meta-analysis is you don't need access to the patients themselves. The people in London did it for you. The people in Paris did it for you. The people in India did it for you. The people in New York did it for you. You don't need direct access to the patients. You create a pooled, a larger sample combining the results of different studies. So remember that publication by Enrique, for example, in the American Journal of Obstetrics and Gynecology. Look, he had 2,500 patients. 2,500 patients, but none of them are from his medical school. None of them are from his hospital. They're from all over the world. They're from 25 different places, different hospitals, different institutions. So you gain autonomy. You don't depend on your ethics committee. You don't have to recruit patients, get data from charts, and you can have a larger sample size than each of the studies. So a meta-analysis is a quantitative synthesis of studies that are similar to each other. We get one study, then another study, then another study. We put all these studies together and we generate a new study. That's what Natalia did. Remember that publication I showed you from Natalia? She's from Medellin. She's from Colombia. She's a medical student there. And then she published and matched in neurology in Miami. But when she did this paper with 3,000 patients, they're not from Medellin, the patients. The patients are from Asia, from the United States, from Europe, from all over. So that's a meta-analysis. What's a systematic review? Systematic review are the steps. They are the different steps, the step-by-step process to find the studies, select the studies, analyze the studies, and report the studies. So when we say meta-analysis, we're really saying a systematic review process to find the studies, select them, and then we do the statistics of combining those studies. That's what a meta-analysis is. And that's what all these students did. They combined different populations from different studies to generate a pooled and aggregate sample. And that pooled sample is the gateway to your successful career in publications. So how does this step-by-step process work? How does the systematic review and meta-analysis process work? Well, that's for tomorrow. That's day 2 of the publication roadmap. That's why you have to show up tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to discuss the exercise together. We're going to learn the 10 steps of doing a meta-analysis. And then we're going to talk about advancing your career with these publications, conferences, high-impact papers, and publications. But I'm going to give you here, I'm going to finish today's class with what the most important message of these 2 days. The most important message of these 2 days is what I'm going to explain to you right now. Okay? This is it, the final 5-10 minutes. It's the most powerful message of these 2 days. So you're going to learn it right now. Meta-analysis will transform your career. It sure did mine. It transformed my own career. And that's the number one reason for you to learn this is because they're really, really impactful. We've had students who've published in JAMA, Lancet, JACC, the top journal in cardiology in the States, like all the different high-impact journals, European Radiology, because meta-analyses are really impactful. That's write these down. Reason number 1, high impact. We're not talking about useless case reports. Stop doing case reports, guys. What a waste of your time and energy. Do higher impact publications. When you apply for residency, for fellowship, you could have 1 million case reports. People are not going to care. Okay? People are just not going to care. Publish higher impact papers. So that's reason number 1. Reason number 2, meta-analyses are highly cited. They're cited by other people. I told you about Beatrice. This paper now has more than 40 publications. This is outdated. For more than 40 citations. This is by one of our, I showed you examples of guideline citations. You know, a student, Tomas, had his research cited by the European Hematology Association. So they have a lot of citations. That's really important when we talk about quality of research. Number 3, meta-analyses are accepted in great journals. This is the #1 journal in ophthalmology. He was a resident in ophthalmology when he published this. This is a medical student who published in one of the top journals in the world in anesthesia. This is one of the top journals in the world in neurosurgery. Helen was a 3rd-year medical student when she published this. 3rd-year medical student. This is JAMA Cardiology, JAMA Pediatrics, JAMA Surgery. Great, great journals. This is the top journal in the world in pediatric surgery, guys. Fateme is from Dubai. She's a medical student in Dubai, in the UAE, published in the top journal in the world in pediatric surgery. This is published in Lancet. So again, these are great journals by people who learn this step-by-step process of publishing meta-analysis. Reason number four, meta-analysis win a lot of research awards. These are two medical students who won Best Research at Endo 2025. That's the American Conference in Endocrinology. This is one of our students from Paraguay who won an award at the American Heart Association. And a lot of these research awards have money associated with them. Luis won $1,000 from the American Society of Clinical Oncology. This is Bezalel. He's from Kerala, India. Anyone from Kerala, India? Southern part of India? Bezalel is from Kerala, India. He won $2,000. $2,000 from the International Society of Thrombosis and Hemostasis. Why? Because he did a meta-analysis on the treatment of hemophilia. Okay? So this is a great question. I want to answer this. Someone asked, hey, do you have to apply for the awards or do they automatically find you? A lot of conferences you have to apply. That's a great point. These awards, a lot of them you have to apply for the awards. But Bezalel won $2,000 on a research award, okay, because of the high impact of these research, okay? So this is a best poster at the European Orthopedic Conference called EFORT, best poster at the European Society of Medical Oncology, ESMO. So these are the top conferences in the world where our students get these awards. Number 5, meta-analysis really guide clinical practice. This is a citation in Up to Date by one of our students who learned the publication roadmap just like you and joined the Meta-Analysis Academy, okay? They get really cited in guidelines. So this is the American Diabetes Association. Amanda was a medical student in Cardiff University at the UK at the time. Anyone from the UK here? I saw a few people earlier from the UK. So Amanda was a medical student in Cardiff, published this paper, and it got cited by the American Diabetes Association. They really inform clinical practice, okay? So this is really important. This is another one. This is Otávio. Otávio got cited by the World Endoscopy Association guidelines. And guys, I could share 100 examples of this. Number 6, meta-analysis increased statistical power. Look at this publication of mine a few years ago. Look how beautiful. Look at this, guys. There's 6,500 patients. Guess how many of these patients are from the University of Miami, where I was a resident at the time? How many of these patients are from the University of Miami? 0. Actually, I was at Johns Hopkins at the time. Okay, I was at Johns Hopkins when I published. I was a cardiology fellow. There's 6,500 patients, but only when we had the 6,500 patients were we able to demonstrate that one was better than the other. Every single individual paper with 1,000 patients, 200 patients, 500 patients, 100 patients, 1,000 patients, none of the individual studies found a benefit of one strategy versus the other. Only when I had all the 6,500 patients together. Because meta-analysis increase statistical power. So that's number 6, reason number 6, for you to learn how to do this. And number 7, meta-analysis will transform your career. It transformed my guys. It transformed my. I was a medical student in Brazil. I majored in internal medicine in Miami. I became a chief resident. I went to Johns Hopkins for cardiology. I then went to Harvard for an imaging fellowship. I stayed on as faculty. This will transform your career. It certainly transformed mine and the lives of many students who've learned this with me. Okay? So this will transform your career if you learn how to do this. And I highly recommend that you do. Okay, let me show you this example. Enrique and Yasmin, the two first authors here, Enrique got offered a research fellowship position in Miami in OBGYN, and Yasmin matched at OBGYN. You guys have any idea how hard it is to match in a surgical specialty in the United States? It's incredibly difficult. But she's an IMG, and she matched at UMKC, okay, one of the great academic programs in the US. And she matched in OBGYN. It's super hard, but it's because she had all these publications. Gabriella matched in surgery at Harvard because of these publications. She had 20 publications, almost 20 publications when she applied for general surgery. Denilsa is the first person ever from the country of Mozambique in Africa to match in the United States. Publications, publications, publications. Learn how to do this. It will transform your career. Luca got the scholarship. Carlos got a research fellowship. Caroline got a rotation at Harvard as a third-year medical student because of research. Research will open doors in your career. This is Dan Hui. I'm going to let you guys read the message here, okay? He's from Korea. He's doing a PhD now in Hungary, and he's applying for a green card. Look, incredible story, but it's a story of publications, okay? I'm going to let you guys read this later on. So it's not impossible. You can do this as well. You learn how to develop great research ideas, and this is the way to overcome all these barriers. The way to overcome all these barriers is to learn how to do meta-analysis. Meta-analysis are incredibly fast to do. You don't have to wait, a year to do these papers. You can learn the skills. You can find the mentors. With meta-analysis, you will overcome all these barriers. Okay? So these barriers for publication, all these different barriers here, you will overcome them with meta-analysis. It's fast to conduct. Many of our students are surgeons, residents. You can learn the skills in the Meta-Analysis Academy. You don't need any funding. You don't need any money to conduct a meta-analysis or to publish one. You don't need to pay authorship publication charges. You will find collaborators, mentors with meta-analysis, and you don't need institutional support, and you will learn the statistical skills, okay? So that finishes day one. Tomorrow we're gonna do day two, and I have a special invitation for you guys here at the end. At the end here, I want you guys who want to join the Meta-Analysis Academy to get into this special early bird group. So this early bird registration group is for people who will want to join the Meta-Analysis Academy. In this group, we're going to explain all the details on how it works, the research groups, the networking, and the tuition and fees. In the early bird registration group, you would get the best conditions to join the next edition of our program. Okay? We're not going to post this on the public group for everyone in the roadmap because not everyone will want to take this next step. Not everyone has that level of commitment. If you want to learn the meta-analysis method that we teach in the Meta-Analysis Academy, I am not going to spend our time here today explaining the Meta-Analysis Academy. You will join this early bird registration group and we will send the details there. Okay, we will explain how the program works, the classes, the schedule, the networking, the research groups. We have something called the Experts Program, where you can pair up with attendings from the United States, from Europe, from all over. We have incredible connections and research groups in the program. I will not explain all that here because it would take too long of our time. You have to join the early bird registration group. We will post all the details there. Okay? Sounds good? I'm going to ask my team to put the link here in the chat. You guys can put the link here. As always, people who say they can't join the group, please click the link here. We're going to help everyone get in the group, okay? So if the link isn't working, our group here, it's always tough because a lot of people try to join at the same time, okay? Guys, can you help with the link here? Can you guys help with the link there in the chat? Yes? Okay. If you can't join the link, please message our support team and our support team will help you. Okay? If you can't join the link, just message our support team and they will help you. Okay? So our support team, you just click the link here. Our support team will help you get into the group. Okay? If you're unable to join, don't text that you're unable to join. Just send a message to our support team. Okay? Don't go yet because I have a final video here to play for you guys. Okay? Just a second. Our team will help you guys get in the group. Now, we have to record attendance. But before I do the attendance, I want to show a quick video right here. Just give me a second. Just give me 1 second because I'm going to play this video. And then we'll do the attendance, okay?
I want you to ponder these 4 questions. Here's the first one, and that's why. Why pay the price? Why work this hard? Why go this far? Why try to learn this much? Why develop yourself to the full? Why try to become all that you can possibly become? That's a good question, why? And you're the only one personally that can answer that question for yourself. You've got to have your own list of whys. Here's what I want you to do when you go home after you've left this extravaganza. Work on your list of whys. One of the big thrusts for success is to come up with a strong enough why. In leadership training, here's what we learn. If the why is powerful, the how is easy. Now, here's number 2. The first question to ponder when you go home is why. Here's another good answer to why. It's the second question. Why not? Why not see how much you can earn? Why not see how much you can learn? Why not see how many skills you can develop? Why not see what kind of person you can become? Why not see what kind of influence you can have? Why not see how many people you can rescue from oblivion? I want you to take that personal. Why not? Why not? Now here's number 3. Why not you? I wish I could say that to each of you individually, but it would take a couple of lifetimes to sit down and talk with each of you individually. But I want you to take it personal. And my personal question to you is, why not you? You've got the brains. You can make decisions. You can study the plan. You can change your life. You can grow immensely in the next few years. You can make your dreams come true. You can build a financial wall around your family nothing can get through. You can become healthy. You can become powerful. Why not you? And I'm here to say that I'm ready to pledge my support to make your personal dreams come true. I asked the question, why not you? But I'm not going to ask it and just walk away. I'm going to ask it and walk with you. And now here's my last question. My very last question on the questions to ponder is, why not now? There never was a better time. Take this dream and not let it die. Take this dream and give it life. Take this dream and breathe into it your own personal spirit until finally it becomes a flame that burns around the whole world. Let's go do it now.
It's a powerful video, guys. It really illustrates, the kind of message that we're trying to send here, which is, you can do this. You have the ability to learn these skills. You don't need to depend on your medical school. You don't need to depend on people who don't want to help you. Okay, so you can learn this. You're capable, and we're going to teach you. We're going to teach you tomorrow in day 2 of the publication roadmap, the steps, and then you're going to join the Meta-Analysis Academy. I know a lot of people are having trouble to join the link there, the group, but you can just send a message to our support, okay? Our support team will help you. It's WhatsApp does this every time that a lot of people try to join a group. So just either try the QR code or send a message to our support. I'm gonna ask my team to send the link. We're gonna also leave the link in the description of the video here on YouTube where you can message our support and they'll help you get into the group. Okay, so this is the link to join the early bird group. And then also, if you can't join the link, just send a message to our WhatsApp support and they will help you. Okay, all right, they may not be able to answer right away, but we will add everyone to the group. Okay, and then we'll explain all the details of the Meta-Analysis Academy there. All right, now we do have the attendance to register at the end. I'm going to ask my team to send a link here in the chat where you guys can fill out to record your attendance. So make sure to fill this out, because the people who fill it out now will be eligible for a full scholarship. We're going to do a draw tomorrow for the people who watch live today and tomorrow. They're going to be able to enter a draw for one full scholarship to the Meta-Analysis Academy. Okay? All right, so let me ask the team to send the link for the attendance. Hello, guys. Did you send the link for the attendance? Yes? Not yet? Come on, guys. The link for the attendance. Hello. There we go. Thank you. So it's in the chat here, okay? This is the link for the attendance. Let me ask the group here, the folks from my team backstage, are we done? Can we wrap up day one here of the Meta-Analysis Academy? Yes? Can we wrap it up? Okay, very good. So make sure to register your attendance. We're going to leave this link here in the chat for the attendance, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Make sure to show up. Remember what I said in the beginning, okay? And I guess I'm going to leave you guys with a really inspirational video here at the very last, just so you guys can see some of our of the incredible results of our students here. I'll see you guys later. You guys have fun, okay? I'll see you. Oh, do the exercise. Don't forget to do the exercise, okay? That's really important. Do the exercise and show up for day 2 tomorrow, okay? You guys take care. I think we're done here. See you guys tomorrow for day 2 of the publication.
Hey everyone, I'm here in London at European Society of Cardiology 2024 scientific sessions. I'm here with Ibrahim. I'm originally from Egypt and now a second-year resident in medicine and Boston. Can you share a little bit about your research experience during residency? So I had a lot of case reports, and then I did the meta-analysis and started doing more of meta-analysis, trying to do more impactful publications. And I was lucky to present at a couple of conferences, and now at the ESC in London. Yeah, this is the largest global conference in cardiology, so congratulations to you and your group. Hey everyone, I'm here in London at European Society of Cardiology. I'm here with Nicole. She's from Peru. Just had a presentation here. Nicole, congratulations to you and the group. Can you tell us a little bit about where you're from, your background, and about the presentation?
Okay, hi everyone, I'm Nicole Gamarra. I'm a 6th-year medical student from Lima, Peru, and I do a presentation on my meta-analysis here at the ESC conference.
And what was the meta-analysis about?
My meta-analysis was about sex and racial disparities of patients on ECMO.
How did it feel to present at a large conference like this on such an important topic?
Well, I just want to say that this is the first time that I do a meta-analysis by my own and that I've been able to present it in a congress like this. So I was so excited to present my results and to feel like my work is getting contributed for the Cardiology Society.
How did you learn how to do this? Still in medical school, 6th year, how did you learn how to do meta-analysis?
I learned...
Guys, a quick announcement here before we go. The exercise will be available in the transmission page. We're going to send it in the groups and by email in just a second, okay? So over there, you can watch the recording from day 1, and you will find the PDF of the exercise, and you will also have the link to submit your answers. Remember, you can do it in a group, but just make sure to submit individual questions, okay? So this is the streaming page. The link is here in the chat. We'll send it in the WhatsApp groups as well. Make sure to check out the streaming page because we'll find the PDF of the exercise and everything there, okay? All right, so that's it for me on my end. I think we're done. I'm gonna end the video, and then if you guys have any questions, if you have any difficulty joining the early bird registration group, send a message to our support. Take care, guys. It's been fun to be with you guys today. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Hello, everyone.